We have more for your ears only. I'm David Alpern.
I'm Eddie Robinson with this quote from the news. Marty needs a screenplay. Loretta said she would help him out. That was attorney Gerald McMahon after his client, reputed mobster Vincent Asaro, was arrested in the $6 million Lufthansa robbery at Kennedy Airport in 1978, suggesting that prosecutor Loretta Lynch was creating the basis for a sequel to the Lufthansa-based film Goodfellas by director Martin Scorsese. Most of the money has never been recovered. Now this.
Waft your waves, ye waters, are the opening words of Das Rheingold, about a ring of magic gold from the River Rhine, first of 4 operas in Richard Wagner's famous ring cycle. It seemed a perfect introduction to a watery golden ring cycle of a very different sort, the story of a gold college ring lost in the ocean more than 40 years ago, but recently found and returned just in time for the holidays to its rightful owner, me.
The story spotlights the sensitive technology and spirit of public service that helps motivate dedicated metal detectorists that you see sweeping beaches and other popular spots in so many places. And to help me, David, tell it. I'm trying
Why
to
don't we
figure
just say, and to help us tell it?
You got it. And to help us tell it, for your ears only, we're joined now by the College Rings finder, retired Bay Area IT executive Jim Wirth. Welcome to the program.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
The story began with a misbegotten effort by me and a Newsweek colleague to teach ourselves to sail a rented sunfish off the beach at Chatham on Cape Cod. When it tipped over, we dragged it ashore, and only later did I see my Columbia class ring was gone, somewhere in the briny deep. Life went on. Then, just before this past Thanksgiving, I got an email from my class president. "Did you lose your college ring?" was the subject line, and it supplied the address of someone who said he'd found it. Incredulous, I Googled the guy and saw his California location. Could 4 decades of wave action and Superstorm Sandy have taken it that far? No. Turned out Jim Wirth has a summer place on the Cape, was standing knee-deep in the ocean at low tide off Chatham when his waterproof metal detector indicated gold about 18 inches under the sand, just about where it must have fallen. Cleaning it up, he saw the school name, class year, and my initials, DMA, which led him to Columbia, my class president, and me. As he was scheduled to visit New York the next week, he brought it along, for which, once again, my thanks.
Great story. So now to Jim, an inside look at metal detecting. How did you first get into it?
So I first got into metal detecting when I was around 10 years old. My mom, one day she sent my brother Tim and I across the street to see all of the stuff that our old neighbor guy, Mr. Warner, had found with his metal detector. So my brother and I were a little reluctant. He was kind of an odd guy. So we went over there, and he took us into this room and showed us this hoard of treasure that he had found over the years. And our jaws must have hit the ground. We were just completely amazed. We ran home, talked my mom into buying us a metal detector, and this guy, Mr. Warner, took us under his wing and taught us how to find treasure over the next couple of years.
How many other rings have you found over the years? How many have you been able to return?
A couple hundred rings. You know, a lot of them are junk rings and tons of silver rings. Probably around 60 gold rings, 4 platinum rings so far. And then there's a handful of wedding rings I've been able to return over the years.
You told me there are ways that anyone who's lost a ring or other valuable object at the beach or elsewhere might mobilize a detectorist to hunt for it, starting with dropping coins in the immediate area.
That would help the metal detectorist at a later date try to, sort of locate the general area where the ring was lost, and then they can focus there to try to find it. But they also need to try to note the day and the date, the time of day and the date that the ring was lost, how deep they were in the water. That way we can try to check where the tide was and get a better sense of how deep we need to be in the water when we're looking for it.
There's a place on Craigslist that someone can post the what and where of a loss. Do most detectorists check regularly for those targets?
I think a lot of detectorists do follow the lost and found on Craigslist for their specific areas. The guys that I know will often contact the person who posted about the lost item, try to get as many details as possible through either a phone call or an email to really narrow down the search area, and then they'll go out and look for the item and return it. And in most cases, they don't ask for any kind of reward. They just would like a thank you note of some kind.
You certainly didn't. Are there websites that detectorists set up to make public what they found in a way that only the real owner could identify and claim it?
There are a lot of websites for metal detectorists, but they're more generally the kind of a show-and-tell type websites where guys like to show off the stuff that they've found. I suppose someone who lost a ring might stumble upon a photo of it on one of these websites, and then they'd have to convince the person who found it that it was theirs, that they'd have to give more specific details to identify it. But there is one great website that people should definitely go to for help whenever they've lost a ring, whether it's in the water or on land somewhere. And it's www.theringfinders.com.
Of course, the miracle of my ring didn't end with its recovery. After 4 decades underwater and sand, the gold and alloy mix were altered, according to the jeweler who expanded it to fit my fatter finger. When heated, green slime seeped out, and the band broke into 5 tiny pieces that he had to reconnect before adding more gold. And my last initial A disappeared in the process, so the next time I lose it, someone in my class with the initials DM will probably get the word. I've put out an alert to call me. But now, a salute to detectorists in general and my ring finder, Jim Wirth, in particular.
And the bell goes ring-a-ding-ding, 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 ring-a-ding-ding.
And this has been For Your Ears Only.